Welcome back to Studio One. Now, when it comes to trying for a baby, you want to make sure that your chances of conceiving are high. But did you know that with a few dietary changes, you could help to increase your fertility?
Fitness and nutrition expert Bernadette Abraham here to give us some more top advice. Thank you for being with us.
Thanks for having me back.
Yeah, we know. Good food, good nutrition, better standard of life, more healthy, etc.
Absolutely.
But increased fertility as well?
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, every cell in our body regenerates from the nutrients that we find from foods. So absolutely, what we eat can affect our reproductive system. And more importantly, it's the quality of the food that we eat. So we're talking genetic modification. That's very common nowadays, especially corn and soy. Those are the highest genetically modified crops. And they have the highest concentrations of pesticides and herbicides and chemicals and toxins for the body. So by definition, if we go organic, we can eliminate a lot of these toxins and genetically modified organisms, which, for instance, many studies have linked infertility with the herbicide. There's an active ingredient called glyphosate. That's been linked to infertility. So by removing these toxins, you can increase your chances of fertility.
Okay, now when you say foods that improve fertility, you're obviously referring to men and women,
yes,
right?
Of course.
So would you say that it's the same kind of nutritional guidelines that both of them need to follow, or is it separate for men, separate for women?
No, absolutely, across the board. The general guidelines would be up across the board. And if a couple is having trouble conceiving, then there's two things that they should definitely get checked by an expert, which would be vitamin D levels. There's a direct association with decreased vitamin D and infertility. And, northern countries that have, long, dark winters, they've shown that conception rates were lower than during the summer months. And they were seeing that variable, that factor, was probably due to an increase of vitamin D in the summertime when you have access to more sunshine. So the best way to increase your vitamin D is through sun exposure at midday. If you're not able to, then you could do safe electric tanning beds, or vitamin D3 supplements. But obviously, talk to your doctor and make sure, get your vitamin D levels checked. The second thing that you want to check for is gluten intolerance. Now, this is something that is becoming more and more aware. People are becoming more and more aware of it. And those who have untreated celiac disease, for instance, in men, have been shown to have lower testosterone levels if they have untreated celiac disease. And that's when you cannot digest gluten, which is the protein found in wheat, barley, rye, and oats even. Those who have celiac disease cannot eat those foods. They're intolerant to them. And some of the symptoms that they might have would be gas, bloating, constipation, or even chronic diarrhea or acid reflux. So if you have any of these symptoms, you're having problems with infertility, it would be wise to go get checked. And there are simple blood tests that you can do to check that.
Couples out there that are having trouble conceiving at the moment, they're planning for a family, not finding it easy. What should they be putting in their shopping basket? Are there certain foods that they should be buying that could increase their chances?
Well, again, a general guideline would to be fresh as opposed to processed foods. Keep it fresh. Eliminate the grains because, like I said, gluten intolerance can definitely affect infertility. You want to avoid high sugar foods, processed foods, all the things that anybody really should be we shouldn't be having. Fresh foods, organic foods, produce, lean sources of meat. Definitely, if you're going to be eating animal sources, you want that to be organic to eliminate the antibiotics and the hormones as well. Okay. So those are the general recommendations.
What about your reds, greens, and yellows? Because I've heard that eating bright-colored fruits and vegetables can help fertility. Is it true?
I'm not sure. I haven't seen anything specifically about that. There could be, but I haven't read anything about that.
Coffee. Good? Bad? Let's throw smoking in as well. Why not?
Okay, yeah. Actually, there's a large study in Connecticut that was done that found that drinking only 1 cup of coffee a day increased your chances of not being able to conceive by 55%.
55?
2 to 3 cups increased it to 100%. Every additional cup after that increased it just more and more. So if you are a big coffee drinker, it'd be wise to cut down, definitely, if you are trying to conceive. And smoking, well, we know if a woman is pregnant, you shouldn't be smoking. Yeah. So you shouldn't be smoking while you're trying to conceive as well. It's just common sense. It's poison. It's toxic. It kills the cells in the body. just quit altogether.
I mean, we've read many articles about how dangerous it is for women to smoke while they're pregnant. But what about men? Does smoking affect their fertility as well?
It definitely does. Like I said, it affects all the cells of the body. It's poison in the body. So if you are smoking, if you do drink a lot of coffee, cut it out. That right there, you could help increase your chances of conceiving a baby.
Now, what are the other not to do's, things not to do?
Well, some of the studies were showing not to have trans fats. So that's also found in a lot of processed foods. It's done to increase the shelf life of a product. So anything that has the word hydrogenated in the list of ingredients is something that you would want to avoid.
What about maintaining a steady weight? Because I've heard that being over or underweight can also delay your conceiving.
Definitely. And if you're eating natural foods and avoiding processed foods and too much sugar, specifically fructose, then definitely your body will go down to its optimal weight and help you be healthier overall, which can help.
And is there an element as well of healthy in mind, healthy in body? I mean, would it increase your chances if you are working out a little more, less stress?
Definitely. I mean, I think so. Obviously, exercise has a big part of that, helps relieve stress, helps increase all the, the good hormones in the body, the feel-good chemicals as well in the brain. And I think, I know a couple who, when they stopped trying so hard and stopped putting so much stress, all of a sudden became pregnant. You hear so many cases like that.
Yeah.
So absolutely, I think the psychological factor. So unstress yourselves through exercising, through hobbies can all help, definitely.
Exactly.
Well, that is definitely some great advice you've given us, Bernadette. Thank you so
Thank you very
much for
much.
coming on the show. And of course, for more information on everything that we've discussed right now, do log on to our Facebook fan page, facebook.com/Studio One Live.